Hi everyone, welcome to On the Other Hand. I'm Ariane Zersher, and today I'm going to be demonstrating the chevron stitch and the closed chevron stitch. A quick update, I'm working away on my new project, which has turned into plural projects. As a jewelry designer and as a fashion designer and even as a knitwear designer, I learned to work in a series. So in other words, you would have one idea and then you would use that one idea and it would translate into a number of different designs so that you would have a collection or a group, depending on what you were designing. One of my most popular designs as a jewelry designer is my Lotus collection. It was inspired by river rocks, the little smooth stones that my father used around cacti in his very large cactus garden where I grew up in Northern California. And I loved those rocks. They could create a kind of pattern, an organic pattern in the way that they were arranged. So bouncing off of that idea, I am now working on a whole series of different projects using that concept. I have been thwarted, however, because the fabric that I want to use won't be coming for a couple of weeks. I have all the wool that I need, I just don't have the background. So I'm waiting on that, and in the meantime, I'm designing more pieces for this series. Once I have at least one item ready to go, I'll unveil it to you and it'll be ready for you to stitch along with me if you care to. So that's just a little update on what's going on. Don't forget to hit the like button, click on the subscribe button and the little bell that pops up for email notifications. I love hearing from you, so leave me comments in the comment section. And grab something to stitch with, a needle and some thread, and let's stitch the chevron stitch together. Chevron stitch, I've just drawn two parallel lines. I'm going to come up on the top and I'm going to make a stitch, but I'm going to come up with my needle in the middle of that elongated stitch. So it looks like this. I'm then going to come down diagonally and I'm going to do a stitch. Now I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to come right up to where that stitch, that diagonal stitch, is emerging. Then I'm going to take another stitch. Now I'm going to come across and I'm going to put my needle up right through where that stitch, diagonal stitch, emerges. And I'm going to keep doing this. Trick about this stitch is to remember that when I'm going down, this is half the distance of what the final stitch will look like. Because now I'm going to come across and I'm going to go here and I'm going to come out right here, my thread above. I'm going to come down and again I'm going to go half the distance. So it takes a little getting used to, but once you have it in your head at that halfway mark, then it's much easier. When I do this upper one, my thread is going to go above. When I do the lower one, my thread is going to go below. These a little smaller. Of course, you can make them as long or as small as you want. When I want to end my thread, I just want to make sure that I'm ending it at the end of one of these stitches so that it's finished. And there it is. Using Oriental linen. This is Irish Hills, and I'm using it on an 18 chenille. I'm going to do a closed chevron. It's exactly the same concept, excepting that you're not going to have any space in between. I'm going to come up. I'm going to take my stitch in the middle. Wasn't paying attention. I just had a message come in, so I was distracted. I'm going to now go right to where this top thread emerges. So that's the closed chevron. I'm just going to finish doing this and I'll end it here. And I'll do it in a different thread so you can see what the next one looks like. I'm using silk ribbon. This is it's a 4mm. It's called Jewels of the Nile on a number 24 chenille. And I stopped here, so I'm going to come up as though I'm just continuing with my same thread. Make sure when you do the upper that your thread goes on top, and when you're doing below, your thread goes below. What I mean by that is this thread here will go this way when you do this part of the stitch. So this is it. It's a really easy, a beginner stitch really. The only thing that you have to be aware of is, I think it would be hard if you didn't draw 2 parallel lines. I think that would be difficult to maintain a straight kind of look. And then the other maybe tricky part can be just keeping these fairly consistent, so you're not having a really long one, really short one. But I think once you start doing it, you'll get the hang of it. The trickiest part is just that first beginning stitch and then keeping it somewhat consistent from that first stitch. Okay, here we go. So there it is in the silk pearl. Isn't that pretty? The Jewel of the Nile. There it is in my Oriental linen. This is the closed chevron. And here it is in my silken pearl, doing it as the open chevron. I think you can see that there are quite a lot of things that you could now do. You could couch something by running a thread underneath this. You could do something in here, a little fly, lots of different combinations, little French knots, little colonial knots, little boyan knots coming out, little pistol stitches coming out. It's kind of endless what you can do using the chevron as a base. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful and maybe made you think of the chevron stitch if it's familiar to you in a different way. If it isn't familiar to you, perhaps you now see some possibilities of how you might use it. Don't forget to hit the like button Click on the subscribe button and the little bell that pops up for email notifications. I love hearing from you. Leave me comments in the comments section, and don't forget to check out the description section where I'll leave links for all the different threads that I use, the silk ribbon, the silk and pearl, and the oriental linen. Until next time, here's to stitching together.